right, let's head on over to the one and only Dr. Sylvain Charlebois. You know him as the food professor. He's senior director at Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University, and he's got some very interesting numbers about restaurants. New report shows that close to half of Quebecers that go to a restaurant leave the establishment unsatisfied with the experience. When compared to other provinces, it's a 14% increase compared to Ontario, close to 30% increase when compared to Manitoba. 4 out of 5 people who responded to the survey found that food prices were higher than before, and 65% of respondents say portions have shrunk. Dr. Charlebois is on the line. Sylvain, welcome back to the show.
What do you need me for? You gave all the information away already.
I'm so sorry. Okay, well, let's make it like this, because I went out for a meal yesterday, okay? I went out for a meal in Quebec at the venerable institution, Maison Publique Orchard. They had to change their name. I don't know if you saw that story. It's no longer Ye Old Orchard Pub.
I did.
That's where I went last night, and let me tell you something. Fish and chips, okay? Really gigantic piece of fish and fries, little thing of coleslaw, $20. I thought it was totally reasonable.
Yes. Well, your expectations have changed, and so you clearly adapted your. You are aware that things have changed economically in the sector, and so your expectations have changed. But you're also trying to be reasonable, and our report is basically suggesting that Quebecers are likely more reasonable than other Canadians when it comes to going out. We all know what's going on. I mean, to operate a restaurant is costing way more money.
Yeah.
And so menu prices have risen in recent months, and we all know that many restaurants are suffering financially. In fact, according to Restaurants Canada, 51% of their members are actually losing money right now, which is insane. It's of course we all know that it's a high risk sector. One restaurant in 5 will survive the first 5 years, but having 51% of restaurants losing money, that's a lot.
And so let's talk about the methodology of the survey here. And I guess it's all-encompassing, because if I'll be completely honest, just about my meal last night, right? So both my fiance and I, we both got fish and chips, okay? So 2 $20 orders of fish and chips. She got a non-alcoholic beer. She's pregnant. I got a half pint of beer, okay? The bill was $60 and a few cents. $60 and a few cents. I looked at that and I was like, that's amazing. I guess I've adjusted my mindset. I said $60 dinner for 2. Okay. You know what the one thing was where I said, where I was unhappy is that now when they gave me the machine to pay with my credit card, the tip options, 18, 20, 25, and of course it's 18% on the total after tax. So I gave the 18, which is more like 20-21% when you include that you're putting tip on a tax. And that was the only thing I said, I wish that those weren't the default options. And so if I did the survey right after that, maybe I would have said, okay, I'm unsatisfied. But I was happy with everything else.
Yeah, I know. When they gave you that machine, sometimes they have like a qualifying adjective like wow, it's at 20%,
yes.
Oh, thank you at 18%. The wow is now 25%.
Yeah.
So that's called tipflation, and it annoys a lot of people. So that's why a lot of people are dining in at home, so they avoid costly alcoholic beverages, and of course the tip. And the tip is 18-20% above very high-priced menu items.
Yeah.
And so that's why a lot of people are going into the restaurant probably less frequently. Mm-hmm. And that one time, it's a special moment. And so they leave the restaurant noticing that portion sizes have actually changed. The quality of the food has changed. The quality of the service also has changed, because 1 times out of 2, I'll be honest, I mean, you're served by someone who's in training. And that shows. And you're prompt with that machine to give 18% regardless.
Yeah. And listen, you mentioned it. It's tough to be in the restaurant business in a good year, right? Now, in a time of stagnation or recession, whatever you want to call it, I can't imagine how difficult it can be. And just on the subject here of, making decisions, I think about my meal the night before. So last night I go out, special treat, because we just moved this week.
How many times do you go out a week?
Yeah, but what did I do the night before? What was dinner? It was a $6 chicken Saint Hubert chicken pot pie from the IGA that I bought. Right. So how much was dinner? It was $6 for the pie, and then I had about half of a bag of green beans that cost $6 for the whole bag. We had half it, so $3, $9 total cost of the meal the night before.
Yeah. No, huge savings, of course, and people can add, especially the millennials and Gen Zs. I mean, they're being hammered by interest rates and what's going on. Adulting, quote unquote, is becoming more difficult for the younger generations. A lot of people are staying home. What's really funny is that I was in Toronto yesterday talking to the coffee folks, McDonald's, Tim Hortons, Starbucks, and they're seeing in their numbers there's less traffic. And they're charging more for their product, but they're noticing that Gen Zs, and in particular Gen Zs, they go out and they talk to these people and they say, well, you know what? Home ownership is out of reach, probably forever, so might as well just live the life and enjoy coffee. So you can sell it. You can feel that something is going on here.
Oh, most definitely. There is something, and we see it in the economic numbers, right? It is complete. What was the thing? The GDP per capita in Canada is the same as it was in 2017. 6 years later, zero growth per capita. That is stunning. Sylvain, let's wrap on this. What is the line, that restaurants can't pass? Are they straddling the line when it comes to pricing and keeping people satisfied? How close are they to that line where people won't return?
Well, this is where we're at the crossroads here. That's why we wanted to come out with this study, this report. It's not great for the industry, but people need to know. I mean, people need to know that if you continue to see patrons leave your establishment not being satisfied, they're not going to come back. I'm not necessarily concerned about the franchises. Like, franchise will be fine. Like RBI, McDonald's, all those franchises, they're doing very well financially. You just look at their financial statements. But if there is one sector that I'm concerned about, independents. There are lots of independently operated restaurants in Montreal, and they're the ones really suffering right now, and they need our support.
Yeah. Sylvain, we have to leave it there. Thanks so much. Always appreciate your insight in talking food. Appreciate it.
All right. Take care. Bye.
That's Dr. Sylvain Charlebois from Dalhousie University.